Okay, Jonathan Hennig, one of our VIPs, sent us a bunch of honey, and we made a mead with one of them that he sent us a couple weeks ago, and now we have this other one called Mallee Honey that we're gonna make a mead with that too, because hey, you know, he sent it, we're making it. But he also said you have to try it, so we're going to try it.
And that is actually good advice
really
for
is.
anybody who's going to make a mead or any beverage with a new ingredient. You want to try it out. Do you like it? What flavor profile does it have? Does it have something super secret that you didn't even know was in there? Taste it and it'll tell you.
The honey comes from Nectar is the company, and they're in Australia. It's Nectar honey. Light native bush honey is what this one is. Smells like honey. It smells like honey and coffee. So we have a clean spoon. Gonna dip it in so that we can each get a taste. That's a pretty good taste. All right, take some.
That is rich in flavor. Woo.
Ooh, definitely getting, there's a vegetal note there.
It's got a coffee note too.
Very light coffee. It's not like a dark roast, it's like a light roast. But it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's not as sweet as you would expect some honeys to be.
No.
Waste not, want not. That's really nice. I think that's going to make a wonderful mead.
Yeah.
So we've been doing something different with our mead making, and that is we're testing a couple of different methods and styles. One of them, we've not been adding a lot of nutrients because, well, the meads have been working out just fine without them. In our test, we actually preferred the ones without them, and a couple of you have told us the same thing, that you had the same experiences. So we're trying that out longer term to see, does it cause problems? I know there's no controls or anything like that, but whatever. The other thing we're doing is we're stopping fermentation, which we never did before. But way back in the day, we used to actually try to overshoot the tolerance of the yeast to get a sweeter product in the end, and that was kind of a crapshoot. You never really knew what you were going to get. Sometimes it was drier, sometimes it was way too sweet, and it just got a little crazy. Whereas now we're learning that we can actually stop that fermentation basically wherever we want to, wherever we like it.
There's also an addition to that creates a different flavor profile, and that's based on how yeast consumes sugars. Now we know that honey is a fermentable sugar, but honey itself is made up of different types of sugar that are fermented at different rates and different times by the yeast. So by stopping fermentation rather than letting fermentation complete, we are left over with specific types of sugars while the other ones have been mostly fermented out. So it gives a different flavor profile.
It's actually sweeter because you're left with the sugars that taste sweeter. That's the theory. By the way, 3 pounds of this honey are going into this mead. And this is the one thing that's a little bit risky with this new method, is if we want to have anything that has, you know, a reasonable or a higher ABV, you have to start a little bit higher. I don't really like to go much past 1.100 for starting, and this one shouldn't be, but, you know, a little bit doesn't hurt. There we go, we hit the 3 pounds. Don't worry, she's gonna sanitize that finger when we're done here, just like everything else that we used has been sanitized in
The red bucket of sanitization!
It's literally just a big party bucket. Someone asked if we would do a review on it. I don't know how to review a bucket. I'm not trying to be a smart guy.
It's just a bucket.
It's just a big bucket.
It's a red bucket because Ryan's favorite color is red.
Yeah, it's like a wash bin.
And each time we find a new one on Amazon, they stop carrying them. So
Well, actually, they don't stop carrying them. They sell out.
yeah.
That's happened. Actually, that one's still available because I gave the link to somebody just yesterday.
Oh, okay,
so it's
cool.
still there.
Cool.
They're
All right.
relatively inexpensive and anything like that.
So on your mindset, your mind track, if you will, of doing our new method, do you want to use your new toy?
Yes, I do. That's what I was alluding to. And that new toy is the Tilt in black, because black and red are my two favorite colors. If I get another one, it'll be red.
Yeah, this is the Mini Pro. This will be our second brew using it. Brian has enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
It was in turbos simply because we just removed it from the other
From
brew.
Arnold Palmer.
Now,
actually.
you said you had
I have a spot for this
guy now. See, new New studio, who dis? I don't know.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure
Trying
stuff
to
out.
figure out where everything goes.
By the way, this fermenter is 5 liters in size. We have come to a thing where I have a new rule. We do not make a 1 gallon batch in a 1 gallon fermenter anymore. Oh no, we make them in larger than 1 gallon batches, fermenters, because the overflow, the foam overs.
Yep.
I got tired of cleaning that up, and we have this brand new studio. I really don't want a sticky mess all over our studio or in the ferment station, so we're using oversized containers for primary. But then once you rack it, you want a smaller container. But back to this brew for a second, and then I'll get to the tilt. Right now we have 3 pounds of honey.
We're gonna need some water.
Yes, I'm adding 96 ounces of water because here's an interesting thing. Every pound of honey is about 11 fluid ounces. So that means 3 pounds would be about 33 ounces, which is like a quart, basically. So 96 ounces plus that makes 128 ounces, makes a gallon. So it makes it really easy to do your calculations. I'm just gonna pour it all right in. People ask this all the time too, what kind of water do we use? We used to use filtered water. Now we're using tap water.
Yeah, our water here is
Way better.
Pre-filtered, so it's
Yeah,
good to go.
yeah, we actually do have a filter on the house, that's true. But it tastes way better than the water we used to have.
Yes.
Now I want to mix this up. And I'm using the spattle, which is a spoon and a paddle. It's both. I named it, and there's links in the description below.
Speaking of links in the description, there's a lot going on in our descriptions, and I hope you've taken advantage of that. I write down the recipes for all of our videos with the volumes. I try, if I can, to have it both in American measurements and European, metric, whatever. Metric, that's the right word.
It is metric. Yeah.
Metric, yes, that's the word. And then I have all the links to all the tools that we're using and the ingredients if they're available. And if they're not available, if I have a website, like I believe Nectar has
should have a website.
has a website, and I'll put that in the description below. So you can have all the stuff.
We're making a big deal about that because we get asked a lot, like literally right in videos where we talk about things.
Where can I get that?
And there's a link right in the description. Now
my
I
job.
know,
It's my job.
but there's more to it than that. If you watch on a television,
Yeah.
the descriptions aren't as easy to get to. So that's where some of that comes from. I haven't tried any of the other tilts. I did the Mini Pro because this is small enough to actually fit into a 1 gallon container. I haven't tried that, and I'm terrified to actually do it, but it supposedly will do it.
He's concerned about getting it back out. So you would have to pour to get it back out, and we try to avoid that.
But also with our new rule of using a larger fermenter, that's not even an issue because they're all wide mouths, pretty much. We have one that's a narrow mouth that's larger.
Yeah.
Not worried. My favorites are actually the 1.5 gallon glass ones that we got. Oh, they're so awesome.
All right, so even though we're going to be using the tilt that's going to be a constant reading of our gravity, we are going to take a specific gravity reading with our triple scale hydrometer just for comparison's sake.
Verification. And, that way, if you don't have a tilt, it's okay. You don't have to. This method can be done without it. We did it on one already without it, and it worked just fine. You're just not going to be as specific about it. That's all. And that's okay. Specificity is overrated sometimes. So I believe that is fully mixed.
All right, so this was warm water, so we do have a temperature.
Oh, that's right. The sink in the studio has hot and cold running water.
Ray just noticed that
just realized
the sink here in the studio is nicer than our sink in our old house in the kitchen.
Well, the faucet is.
Yeah.
The sink itself, I mean, it's a pretty nice sink.
Yeah.
Pretty nice big aluminum sink, yeah. Anyway, yeah, we still keep discovering new things about this house. So I am taking a reading for 2 reasons. I know this should be right around 1.105. Okay, so if it's drastically off of that, either I didn't mix enough or I done messed up. So that's part of why I'm taking this reading right now, to tell me, did I mess up or did I do it right?
Do you need a thermometer to
No.
do adjustments, or is this not?
No, I'm not going to worry about it because the tilt auto adjusts for temperature,
Okay.
so I'm not going to worry about that. I am seeing 1.110 from the hydrometer right now. Am I worried? No. But I'm going to pour that sample right back in. Now I'm going to take the tilt and just drop it in. It'll find its own way to float. It actually floats upside down from how you think it would. And I'm going to get a reading on my phone, and I'll start up a whole new thing for it later. Let's see, what is the tilt telling me? 1.1099.
Yeah, it's adjusting for temperature as it goes.
But it's also saying it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's actually going up.
Yep.
So it's adjusting it for the temperature. And that's totally fine. It's all good. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor using the tilt, the actual fermentation process. Every day, every couple days, I will look at this. And when it gets down to something that we might actually like to drink sweetness level, which is usually 1.020 to 1.030, somewhere in that range, we're going to take a sample and taste it. That's the other fun part about this new method is you get to sample it more. We get more tastings. And then we're going to do something to stop the fermentation process and then help it clear. It's a much simpler way to make mead, but it's been working. We've done it twice so far and it's been amazing. I mean, I don't know why we didn't think of this like 2 or 3 years ago.
Sure. If you want to do this method, but you don't want to purchase a tilt, which we can totally understand, they are a little bit pricey, you can simply stick to the triple scale hydrometer and just take readings like every other day.
Yeah, I mean, you could even take like once a week is probably enough because on the one that we did, it was 1.034 when we first checked, then it was 1.022, then a week later it was 1.020. Now, some will actually go faster than that. So once it gets close to where you think you want to be, maybe then you start speeding up. But you could probably let it go for a week before you even touch it.
All right, so there is one more ingredient that we need to add to this before we're done at this stage. And what ingredient is that, Brian?
That is yeast. And for that, we're going to be using Lalvin 71B, also known as
the Beast.
And why are we using this yeast?
Because it's our favorite. It's something that we can rely on. We know it's going to do its job. It doesn't have very high nutrient requirements, so we don't have to worry about adding more stuff to this. And it's just going to ferment fine in our particular environment. Now, that's where we are. You might have a different strain that's going to work even better for you.
If you're in a colder area, like we ferment in the mid 70s for Fahrenheit. If you're in a colder environment than that, D47 actually is a really good performer. But more than just we like this yeast, the reason I'm using it is because when we make traditionals, we almost always use 71B. So that way we have something that's consistent across the board. It's a known performer. So that way flavor differences in the honey are what actually come through rather than differences in yeast. I'm just going to use about half a packet and I'm going to avoid dropping them on the tilt and just eyeball that. Rule of thumb for yeast. If you're making up to 3 gallons, use half a packet. If you're making more than 3 gallons, use a whole packet. If you're making 3 gallons on the nose, it's your choice. Do whichever you want. No, I don't mix the yeast in because it just makes a mess. That's it. That's it. That's how easy it can be to make mead sometimes. So we're going to let this sit until I start seeing those numbers drop, like I said, and then we'll be back to show you the next step. All right, so it's been, about a week on our Aussie Mallee mead. I'd like to take a first check on it. Guess what? We don't need no stinking hydrometer. All I got to do is load up the app, which I've been doing, just so you know. And let's see here. Load up the app, and it finds it 1.0972. We started at 1.109, so it's gone down about 10 points in a week. That's a little on the slow side, but I don't really have a problem with that. It took more than 2 days to get really going. It was like 3 or 4 days before it really started up.
What's its temperature? Is it too cold maybe?
It is 75.9 degrees Fahrenheit.
I think it's a fine range.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this room keeps them at. And that, I'm not trying to sell the tilts too hard.
But oh my gosh, is it fun?
It makes a lot of things easier and it's fun. I think that's the biggest thing. It's fun. But we keep these on top. We have a walk-in, or not a walk-in freezer. We have a stand-up freezer. And these have been kept on top of it for now. And that tells me what temperature the room is at that height. And because this is a mini split AC, we just keep it at a constant temperature when we're not using this room. So it's actually really amazing. This is a better environment than what we had before, because I used to have it where it was just in the house and it would get cooler at night and warmer during the day. Now we don't do that anymore.
I think that application of being able to know what temperature your brew is at all times, as well as what the gravity reading is going to be really helpful for those who are in an environment that the temperature change does occur. So that way, like if you're in where it gets cold and you have your brews in the basement, my brews are getting too cold. I'm probably going to stall out my yeast, and you can wrap them in a blanket or something to get that temperature be more stable.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things about knowing the temperature of your brew, and a consistent temperature is going to be a really good asset to brewing, because yeast don't like to be too hot, then too cold, then too hot, then too cold.
It's just an additional stressor on them, and you want to mitigate as many of the stressors as possible so that way they can get to the job of fermenting.
Right. But anyway, we're going to get this back up on top of our freezer and leave it there for at least another week. All right. This sucker has been going for a long time. 7 weeks. According to the tilt, it's at like 1.020. So let me just make sure on that. Which, that just seems really unusual. Most of our stuff does not take that long. So yeah, 1.019.8, so 1.020, according to the tilt. So let me take a note. But I want to verify that, because that doesn't seem quite right. We have 2 brews that are almost the exact same time and the exact same range like that. So it just seems a little odd to me. Yeah, just verification. It's a good thing. And it's not quite clear. I mean, it's clear-ish. So it might be very accurate. The tilt is pretty close, if not the exact same as the hydrometer. A little bit of gas in here. So this might still be going, but will it after today? I don't think so. The hydrometer is saying 1.018.
That is close enough.
It's close enough that I'm not going to even be concerned with that. But here's the thing. This has been going on for far too long. It smells good, though. It really smells good. So it's been going on for a long time, and we did a little bit of math, a little bit of calculation, and figured that this is still going to be like over 11% if we stop it right now. Now, the advantage to doing that rather than back sweetening to taste, because we tend to like our meats on the sweet side, so we already know this, is that when yeast ferments, they ferment glucose, then fructose, then sucrose, in that order. So right now, there might still be some fructose and sucrose left, which taste a little bit sweeter than the glucose, or different. Maybe not sweeter, but different than the glucose. So by letting this stop at this point, we're leaving some of those natural sugars behind. If we went dry with it, then we add more honey to it. Now we're adding back the glucose and the extra fructose that might have been fermented, changing the flavor. Now, is it better or worse? That is the question. Remains to be seen. So far, we have really liked this method. So we're probably going to try it again today.
We are going to rack this now and then give it a taste, because we might decide to add more honey to it anyway.
Exactly. All right, so we have our pitcher, you know, the fancy one with the metric and the American numerals on it, and the great handle, and the great spout. By the way, you can get your own in the link in the description below. But I also have our sample still, and I want to pour that in now, because if I try pouring that back into there and then racking it, it's just going to make a mess. I'm just going to get all the lees, and I don't want to do that. Racking procedure is pretty simple. You make your source higher than your destination. So that's why Derek is using her lap. And we use an auto siphon. See this little thing here? That's not just for protection, and that's not something you throw away. Trust me, Brian from 25 years ago wishes he knew that. Anyway, that keeps it out of all the lees in the bottom here, so that you don't suck up lees when you're actually doing the racking. But yet another thing you can do to prevent upsetting the lees is when you put it in, I only have it to about right here, just far enough that it's in the liquid. And then just give it a couple strokes to get it going. Just like that. Once it's started, don't pump it anymore. That's bad. You're just going to disturb lees and introduce oxygen and all kinds of stuff like that. It's bad. And as the level of the liquid goes down, I'll move my auto siphon with it. That's it. Once you get close to the bottom like this, I'm just going to tip it like at a 45 degree. Yeah, that's 45 degrees. That way, what happens is I have more liquid over the top of the auto siphon, and eventually you'll start seeing lees coming down like a little cascade. Be careful. You don't want to suck that up. I'm still not all the way to the bottom yet, but this keeps me from having to be in the lees yet. Okay? Optional. You don't have to. Just gets you an extra ounce or two out of the racking process. Alrighty. We lost, I'm going to say like 3, maybe 4 ounces. It happens. That's part of the process. But it's also all the lees and things like that
I got
that we don't.
stuff in my tube, if you can hold that.
You got stuff in your tube?
You don't Don't.
You don't want stuff in your tube.
Stuff in your tube.
Now, interestingly enough, we started off with realistically almost exactly a gallon. And when I say we only lost a few ounces, we're literally sitting at 122 ounces right now. So we lost 6 ounces due to racking. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me at all. So the next step is we're gonna taste it.
Oh no, this is sad.
Yeah, this is the worst part of the whole thing, right?
I couldn't get that out with that one.
Yeah, it's all right. So the reason we're tasting it now is to see, does it need any adjustments? Remember, this is at 1.018 or 1.020, however you want to see it. So it's on the sweet side, which is pretty much where we would probably want it anyway.
It has a very unusual aroma. It's like almost like flowers and fruit.
Yeah,
Like it.
that's kind of what I got off of it
smells like-
too. Almost like a tropical fruit
Or like
with flowers.
apple.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Is this going to taste like a cider?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not smelling too young either. Of course, because it's not. It's like 7 weeks old now, so it's not that young.
Well, that aroma was kind of punchy on the alcohol, so that was interesting.
Let me figure out the alcohol if we were to stop this today. Which we're stopping this today, but let me just figure out the alcohol. I know I said around 11, but let me actually do it for real. So if I go with hydrometer readings, just because it's easier to do, 1.110 minus 1.018 is 92 points of gravity, or 0.092 used up, times 131.25 gives us 12%. Okay, 12% sounds good to me. I don't like to go much higher than that. Like 13 or 14 is all right, but I don't want to be like 17, 18%. Those take lots longer to age and taste really good. They tend to be imbalanced. You have to do so much more to them to balance things. From the look on her face, I can tell already that this one's probably pretty good. Yeah. It's got like a citrusy acid bite.
And it's got a creamy mouthfeel.
A little bit. Not too creamy.
No, not too creamy, but it's not.
I'd actually like it a little sweeter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Don't focus on the numbers for the level of sweetness, because this has some acid bite to it. That acidity makes it kind of sour, a little astringent. So adding more sweetness can balance that out. And that's an important aspect to any homebrew, is balance.
If you are okay with things being not overly sweet, this might be perfect for you just as it is.
Yeah, it comes across like a drier mead.
Yeah,
it really does.
But I'm still getting a honey sensation from it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like...
The honey character is good. The acidity level is slightly on the tart side for me, which I know that sounds strange because I like things acidic. So when I say it's a little tart, that's why I want to sweeten it a little bit more to balance those things out. So we're going to back sweeten using the same honey that we made it with. That kind of gives a 1-2 punch. So remember I was saying before about the sugars that didn't ferment out? Well, now we're going to add in some of that glucose and the whole mix. So we kind of have the best of both worlds, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, who knows? It might be better, might not be. But that's a whole other thing to test. But if you've never seen our show before, welcome. If you've seen our show before, you know how we like to sweeten. And that is we add a bunch of honey in there, mix it up, and then taste it. And if we like it, it's sweet enough. And if we don't, we keep going. But we don't put too much in at a time. It usually takes a few steps. I know I'm going to need more sweetness. And how much to add each time is largely down to personal. You're going to have to do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, largely down to personal experience. The longer you do this kind of thing, the more you kind of get a feel for how much to add at a time. It's a really good honey.
It's interesting tasting that and then tasting the honey afterwards. You can get the notes. I think the fermentation process actually enhanced some of them.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because
so they were fainter in the honey?
Right. So it was more honey forward. That sounds ridiculous to say when you're tasting honey, but the subtle nuances are kind of pushed back due to the honeyness of the honey.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to say that.
No, I think I know what you mean. Honey can be very strong, concentrated tasting. So those little subtle notes were out of the way.
But the fermentation process
brought them
forward. Yeah.
Sure. Well, you got rid of all the sweetness from the honey, so now it's going to have most of those. So I wonder if sweetening it pushes them back down.
Could be. We'll find out.
In about 30 seconds. Because Not quite.
When you are doing this method of back sweetening, you really want to make sure that you mix thoroughly, because when you taste it, if it's not thoroughly mixed, you're not going to have an accurate representation of what's going on in here.
You also want to be very careful when you're doing the mixing. Notice how little movement I'm doing at the top, and it's also degassing at the same time. I'm seeing foam on top. So I'm not oxidizing. A lot of people get very concerned about that. This is not being oxidized.
If he was sloshing around, then yes, he would totally be oxidizing. Don't do that.
Tasting, pre-tasting, take 2.
I am going to smell it again because adding more honey is going to change the aroma.
Probably is going to make it a lot more floral. I remember this honey was kind of floral. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh. That smells really good. What? I didn't know if that was a good or a bad because, you know, they come in all flavors.
Done.
Nailed it. Nailed it. It still has a little bit of a soury tart on the back end, which, okay, no, actually that's good. Wait, because here's the thing. Over time, when this sits and mellows and ages, that tartness is probably going to mellow a little bit. So the fact that it's just a little bit too much right now is probably a good thing. It's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I think it tastes great.
All right. So what I want to do now is take a reading so that you guys know what we sweetened it to. I'm going to say 1.032. Yeah. Which is definitely on the sweet side. No, it's not. 1.028. Yep. It is definitely on the sweet side, but when you factor in all the other flavors, that's the important thing. Sure, if you're watching calories and sugars, it matters. But
if you're truly watching calories,
you probably shouldn't be drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get it. That's why I'm making sure that it's not the foam throwing off my guesstimate here. All right, I missed by 2 points. It's 1.030. So my first guess was 1.032, and my second was 1.028. Average them together, and I'm still right.
So now, at this point, we have added honey. Pure unadulterated honey. That is fermentable.
Right.
So even though this looked like it's stalled, just for safety's sake, we're going to rack this into a fermenter of some sort.
Yeah.
And then we're going to pasteurize the entire thing.
Now, we could, here's another option. We're not going to this time, but we could put this back in a fermenter, put an airlock on it, let it sit, see if it ferments again. If it doesn't, then it's stable. But just for our sake, we're going to pasteurize. Some people don't like to pasteurize. That's the only reason why I gave that other option. It can take longer that way, but it's totally fine if that's how you prefer it. We have not found pasteurization to really affect flavor negatively at all. Like, never. So we're going to pasteurize it.
And then after that, we're going to cold crash it just to see if that will aid in clarity any at all.
And then after that, I'm going to see you in a week where we give a tasting and give it a judgment. Okay, we fermented it. We racked it, we back sweetened it, we pasteurized it, and we cold crashed it, and today we're going to taste it. It's still cold. Well, I just got it out of the fridge just a little while ago. Now, something strange. There's a lot of very fluffy leaves in the bottom.
Fluffy.
Yeah, and some of it has even come up the sides. So I don't think that's a problem so much as a nuisance. That's the easiest way to describe that. We're going to just let it sit for a long time.
The majority of the liquid itself is very clear. I feel that with it sitting in here at room temp, the same situation with airlock and everything, just in case, that should come back down farther and we should have plenty for bottling day.
Yeah, over time it should clear up more. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
The
only cloudiness that's on this glass is because of the condensation due to it being cold.
Well, okay, I'll just be totally honest. There is an infinitesimally small amount of haze if you hold it up to light. But it's not, I mean, anything else, it looks like a clear white wine with just a slight tint to it. But it looks very, very clear until you hold it up to light. That's it. So, all right.
It's a nice pale color. It's appealing to me.
Yeah.
Looks like champagne.
This is one that we would probably drink cold anyway, so I don't mind this being cold.
Right. The aroma's lovely.
Bushy.
Bushy?
Bushy, like earthy and like green.
I'm getting like citrus notes.
It's cold. It's hard for me to smell it. That's the downside to cold.
Swirl. Being swirl deficient.
I get like a little bit of a floral note, maybe some fruity.
Oh, there I got some of the earth.
There's a little bit of an earthiness to it. Yeah. It's not super strong, but that was the first thing that hit me. There's an odd fruity note in there. It's like semi-sweet, but not. Oh, you know what it is?
Papaya.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, she's not wrong. Some fruits, when they're starting to be overripe, give off an odd smell.
Papaya.
That's what I'm getting. It's not unpleasant. It's just unique. I think you're right about the papaya, though. I definitely am getting papaya now. See, suggestion too. You know, it's one of those things. Anyway, you ready?
I'm ready.
Now, we back sweeten this to 1.030, so it's on the sweet
It's
side.
very sweet.
I wouldn't say very. It's nice and sweet.
That's why I was looking over there. I'm like, what did we
It
do?
has, I don't know how, but it has a strong mouthfeel, strong tannic quality. There's a good acidity in there.
Yeah.
And that's why we ended up sweetening it a little bit more, because it helps to balance that out. And that's a really important thing to understand, is that sweetness is just one thing. Taken on its own, all things being equal, sweetness will make something sweeter if you add more. But if you add acid or tannin at the same time, you're not really going to make it taste sweeter. You are technically adding sugars, but it's not necessarily going to taste sweeter. We talk about this on the Ferment Station. We did a couple videos about this. This is interesting. I'm not going to say this is my favorite traditional mead.
It, again, tastes like it's a lot more than just honey, water, yeast.
Yes. This makes a very complex.
Because we didn't do anything to this.
Nope. This is honey, yeast, and water.
It feels like it has some acid blends added.
It feels like there's tannins in there.
It feels like there's tannins in there. It's definitely got the sweetness. Like
it's actually really nice. It's not my taste in a traditional mead, but I can drink this. Does that make sense?
But it's not one of those. I don't know what this is. It still presents as a mead for sure.
Sure. It's a little more earthy than I prefer. It's weird because it's like earthy and citrusy at the same time. And that's a flavor combo that's just not my favorite thing. And I don't mean to be negative. I'm just trying to describe it as well as I can. For many people out there, they're going to go, wow, this is amazing, Brian, you're out of your mind. And, that is totally fine. Everyone has their...
Camp Derica, because I'm really appreciating this.
There you go. I think I could appreciate it, like, have a glass with a meal or something, and I would really appreciate this. This seems like a food drink for me, rather than an enjoyment, like drink it for the experience.
It also feels kind of like a digestif or an in-between courses, because it's kind of has the cleansing, even though it's so sweet, the citrusiness.
The acid is really
it makes it feel nice and crisp and cleansing.
It's got a very short finish. As it enters the mouth, I get the sweetness right away. The honey character comes through.
And a little bit of the grip from the tannin.
Right. And then it like grabs the sides of my mouth and sucks them in. And then the earthy note comes through at like half to 3/4 palate. And that's where it goes a little unpleasant for me. It's not too bad, but a little bit. And then the honey character follows that through. The finish is like one and done. It's just real quick. It's got a lot more going for it than I thought it would for a traditional mead. I will say that. This has a lot more notes, a lot more layers than most traditional meads do.
So
they're just not necessarily layers I love.
Before we get to the judgment on this iteration, let's talk about, now that we've made a traditional with this honey, what would you want to go forward with is pairing it with other things? Okay.
Because of the earthiness and the acidity that I know it has now, I would pair this with fruity things like berries. Elderberries would actually be kind of cool because they're earthy too. You could play off of that, or go in a whole different direction. Go with something much more sweet.
I feel like spicing this might be fun.
I was getting to that too.
Because the spices may override that slight earthiness
Well, they'll play into it.
And the little
work
bit
with
of
it.
citrus that's already there, I think would pair really nice with spices.
I think
I'm thinking
peach orange with clove, allspice, and cinnamon. That would probably be...
That sounds just about perfect to me.
That would really enhance what's there and work with it to bring it all together. Because peach itself is really hard, and I would do them all in secondary. Like at this point, you could add those things and go from there. We're not going to. What we're going to do with this is going to sit for like
Months.
6 to 8 months. And then one bottle, well, we'll bottle it, obviously. One bottle will go away for a year from about today for our final tasting on it. And the others probably get consumed.
Yeah. Probably with a meal.
Yeah. I mean, I know I sounded like I was really negative on this. I was trying to be
Critical.
explanatory because there's a lot going on here, and not all of it to me is ideal for me. Now, before you read too far into that, that is not a fault of the mead. We didn't do anything wrong.
No.
There's nothing done wrong here. What I'm tasting is simply the notes that honey produces, and some of them I like, some of them I don't. That's really all it is.
I feel like this would be a really great course, if you will, to add to a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah. I also think this would go really, really well with fruits. Like if you wanted to have it with
Oh, like a fruit plate,
a fruit plate of some kind.
charcuterie, or
Melon would work really well with this as it is, because the sweetness and softness of the melon goes well with the earthiness. They'll counterbalance each other. It would go well with cheeses and things like that too.
Yeah.
Even like smoky things, something really super rich. This would actually help cut that back. Yeah, there's a lot of uses for this. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
All right, so now
you should be seeing our scoring card guide on the screen. And it goes 1 through 11 because, yep, ours goes to 11. But what you don't see is the super secret 0 for things that just absolutely suck. I'm going to go on a limb with my spoilers and say this is neither a 0 or an 11. 1, 2, 3, 7.
8.5.
I figured you were going to be significantly higher than me on this one. To me, this falls into the great mead category. I think this is a great mead. It's just not something I would necessarily reach for all the time.
Yeah, I'm seeing more of this in my future once it gets bottled.
Absolutely.
And I think I would serve it chilled. It is delightful chilled. And yeah, this is kind of like a little special fancy treat to go with a meal, I think.
Yeah, so if you can get that honey from Nectar, we'll have the link for Nectar right in the description below. You can go and get some of that. They are not a sponsor. They probably don't even know we're doing this video.
No, this is all thanks to John.
Yeah, this is because of John. That's all I got. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Don't worry, she's going to pasteurize that finger after she licks it. After you lick it, you are?
I'm going to sanitize it, not pasteurize it.
Don't worry, she's going to pasteurize. Shit. Don't worry, she's...